Hello enthusiasts and welcome to this new video from the website www.moonwatch.fr. Today, I am going to introduce you to an icon from Breitling, a watch that I truly love, which is recognizable among all thanks to a specific look. It is the Breitling Avenger Chronograph. In the Breitling philosophy, the design of a chronograph such as the Breitling Avenger Chronograph watch is governed by four essential criteria: robustness, functionality, precision, and aesthetic sophistication. In 2001, Breitling decided to release a chronograph watch that perfectly meets these four criteria while maintaining the spirit of the Firmoselle. This Avenger chronograph is a perfect illustration of this approach. This chronograph, reference E13360, was produced until 2007 and came in two dial variations, one white and one black, like the other Breitling Avengers. This Breitling Avenger Chrono is a robust watch, extremely versatile, and can be used daily, no matter the activity you engage in. Whether you are an athlete, prefer to relax on the beach, are an aviator, or an aspiring pilot, this watch will suit you perfectly. We will also see that there are many other similarities with models I have presented to you, for example with the Avenger Seawolf or the Avenger GMT Night Mission, obviously since they are from the same range, the Avenger range. Let's now look at the technical specifications. This model of the Breitling Chrono Avenger was produced between 2001 and 2007. It is a men's watch with a titanium case. It is equipped with the Breitling Caliber 13, a caliber based on a Valjoux 7750 which offers a power reserve of 42 hours. The watch is rated water resistant to 300 meters, so truly a professional watch. The bezel is unidirectional. The crown is signed and screwed down. There are also two push buttons with a push grip. Regarding the dimensions, the case measures 44 mm in diameter and almost 18 mm in thickness. It's a large watch, but the watch remains quite light, especially thanks to the use of titanium. It's a watch that weighs about 100 krona. The strap is a brown calf leather strap from Breitling, mounted on a titanium pin buckle. This strap can be easily changed with a 22 mm lug width. The reference is E13360, and the complications offered are the date and the chronograph. For the rest of the video, I turned off the light to avoid the ring light, reflecting on the watch. Today is quite a gloomy day, but well, it will allow us to see like this. The comments, the contrasts on this magnificent white dial. So, based on the Avenger case, which reflects all the attributes of the Avenger case, including the robust construction, we also have a crown that is locked and protected by crown guards, chrono guards here. Two steel pushers. The case is truly typical of the Breitling Avenger collections. This case is recognizable among many, especially with this bezel and these small tips on it. The Avenger case is recognizable among all, obviously. The case is shock resistant and water resistant up to 1000 feet, which is approximately 300 meters. So we are really looking at a watch from the pro range. It is a very robust case, entirely made of titanium, including the bezel, and it has been designed to withstand intensive use while remaining comfortable on the wrist, despite its rather imposing dimensions of 44 mm in diameter and almost 18 meters in thickness, 17 to 18 millimeters. Operating the crown of this watch is incredibly straightforward due to its unique design. This is because it features Breitling's exclusive patented crown technology known for its super grip capability. This innovative, a crown also specific to the Avengers, which allows you to set the different functions of the watch, namely the time and date on this model. This crown is engraved with Breitling's UB, a nice little detail. Inside there are two gaskets that ensure water resistance up to 300 meters. There are also two textured pushers, as you can see, which simply allow you to start the chronograph and reset it to 0. So, a very, very beautiful watch. The massive bezel complements this Avenger case. So, unidirectional bezels that are very easy to use. Multi-click bezels, obviously. The grip is good, nothing to say about that. The movement is quite smooth. And as with all Breitling Avengers, there's a small B engraved on the bezel. So it's difficult to zoom in, but there you go, the small engraved B. Now the case back, I'm going to show you the case back. So, you see, this is the original strap, so the strap has been well used. But, well, it is still quite decent and wearable. So, on the case back, we will find the Breitling logo in the center. Breitling, 1888. And several inscriptions, namely, Certified Chronograph, Chronometer. Manufactured in Switzerland, water-resistant 300 meters, and the reference number E13360. As often with Breitling, it's very well finished, very beautiful design. Extremely beautiful. Very, very beautiful reference. This Breitling Chrono Avenger E13360 is not a watch for little girls. It's a beautiful watch. It's a large watch that has a strong presence on the wrist. And yet, despite its rather imposing dimensions, the overall look is very harmonious. The dial of the Breitling Avenger Chronograph has evolved over the course of its production. It was available in two colors, black and white. The white one is the model I'm presenting to you today. The most recent models have a concentric circular pattern on the subdials, unlike the previous ones. The latest models also have a date track, painted with a font, darker, whereas the earlier versions use a printed date that appears lighter. The shape of the number 8 is also different between the new models and the old models. Well, these are small details, but it can influence depending on which model you prefer, whether you prefer a first series or a second series. The dial inevitably reminds one of the aviation world, since Breitling has a strong connection with everything aeronautical. But this dial remains relatively simple for a chronograph. We have a date at 3 o'clock, and then 3 subdials typical of the Valjoux 7750 arranged in 6/9 to 12. So we have 6 hands on the dial, a minute hand, an hour hand, a second hand, and then the chronograph second hand, chronograph minute hand, and chronograph hour hand. The hands are quite basic. The hour and minute hands are coated with luminescent material, and the tip of the chronograph second hand is painted red to enhance readability. We also find the Breitling logo, which is printed on the dial and positioned between the center and the date. My only regret regarding this dial, which I find very beautiful, very elegant, very readable, is that the indices are silver and are not coated with luminova or luminescent materials. The luminescent material, it will be difficult to show you, but above each index, or rather number, there is a small dot of luminescent material. Personally, I would have preferred if there were no dot and that the indices, instead of being metallic, were reflective, quite simply. Luminescent, sorry. For that afterwards, it's not a big mistake, but well, it's a small detail that would have pleased me. This white version of the dial is very, very, very beautiful, especially since the dial, over the years, develops a kind of patina and starts to become pearlescent. Well, here I have the lamp on, we can see the dial. It's not white. It's not white like paper, for example. It starts to become pearlescent. A little bit, it's very nice. The dial that develops a patina adds character to the watch, I think. This Avenger chronograph uses the Breitling B13 caliber, which has been used in many watches since the chronomats were used, I believe. So it's a proven movement that equips many models of the Ozil brand. Based on an IT Valjoux 7750, it has approximately 42 hours of power reserve, and its subdials are traditionally arranged quite classically in a 6-9-12 layout with a date window at 3 o'clock. The caliber is reliable and robust. I have never noticed any particular drift. We meet the standards. You should know that the watch's cases and lines are certified. Kursk anyway. So generally, a perfectly acceptable drift. The movement is quite precise and silent. You rarely feel the oscillating weight on this model, which is rather a positive point because the watch is already quite massive. If every time you moved your wrist you heard the oscillating weight making a ch sound, it would be a bit unpleasant. Here, there's nothing to say about that. Now, regarding the comfort of wearing the strap, my version of the Avenger Chronograph from Breitling is fitted with a brown leather strap, which has developed a patina over time. Like most of the brand's leather straps, it is very comfortable and ensures an almost perfect wearing experience. The choice of titanium helps to lighten the watch, and as a result, with the leather strap, you don't have the feeling of having a brick on a cinder block or wrist, which is rather nice. Obviously, I have advice against diving with a leather strap, but it's a watch that tolerates diving very, very well. I don't dive with this watch, but you can do it since it is waterproof. So, no problem on that side. On my model, I also have an Ardellon buckle, signed by Breitling, which is made of titanium, so it matches the case. A small detail that I really like. This brown color, it makes a change from black. In fact, at first the brown was much lighter, but over time and with the patina, it becomes a mix between dark chocolate brown and black, and frankly, I really like it. It changes, it's a little more original, and I find that it goes very, very well, it harmonizes very, very well with the white dial. You should also know that there is a version of this Chrono Avenger that comes with a titanium bracelet. So, I'm not going to lie to you, I have never been able to test the titanium bracelet because I've never had it in my hands. I suppose it is light, and I dare to hope that it is more comfortable than the other bracelets. Steel from Breitling, because I can't stand them. I really don't find them great at all. The steel bracelets from Breitling, especially the bracelets from the new ranges. I'm not talking about the vintage roller bracelets. I'm really talking about the steel bracelets from the new ranges. I find them heavy. Well, I'm not a fan. So, there is a titanium bracelet that fits this Avenger. I haven't tried it. There is a good chance that it is a very good bracelet, quite light. I hope it is better than today's steel bracelets. The Breitling Avenger Chronograph E13360 has not been produced since 2007. The only way to get one, therefore, is the grey market, that is, the second-hand market. It's not very complicated to find one, but you need to pay attention to several points. Several points are therefore important to check. First of all, the authenticity of the case, the movement, and the bracelet. Why do you need to check? Because it can affect the price of the watch. For example, a Breitling watch equipped with a bracelet with a standard leather strap. It won't be worth the same price as a Breitling that is mounted on a bracelet from Breitling, obviously. Next, you need to check the authenticity of the case. Why? Because nowadays there are many watch replicas. And well, it would be a shame to spend 2,000 euros on a watch that isn't 100% authentic. Next, you need to pay attention to the operation of the chronometer. Check that the mechanism is working, that the chronometer is functioning perfectly. For that, it's not difficult. You press, it starts the second hand. You let it run while testing the watch, etc. You check that. Then you need to verify the watch's timekeeping accuracy. Why? Because it's a watch from 2007. And consequently, it's starting to age a bit. So, you need to know if the watch still has a correct drift, etc. Finally, you also need to check all the seals. There are 2 seals at the crown. it's important that they are still present and in good condition if you wish to dive with it. If you don't dive, it's a little less of a concern, but still. And finally, the best is to have the maintenance history of the watch. Regarding the price, you can find this Breitling Avenger Chronograph, among many, at a price between 1,600 and 3,000 euros. Between the lower and upper range, the fair price is around 2,100 euros, 2,200 euros. At that price, you will get an Avenger Chronograph E13 360 Black in excellent condition on a Breitling rubber or leather strap. For a model with a white dial like this one, you should expect to pay around 2,400 euros, because they are quite rare and hard to find. Obviously, the best would be to find the Chronograph Avenger in full set, box and papers, and prioritize a certified purchase from a professional or a trusted dealer, because there are replicas of Breitlings, somewhat like the replicas of Rolex subs. So, well, given the price of the watch, it's better to make a secure purchase. So let's be honest, this Breitling Chrono Avenger E13 360 is a watch that I love. It has a very nice presence on the wrist. You can feel that it's a robust and solid watch. It took me a long time to find and buy it because I really wanted it in this white dial version. It also took me some time because it's a watch that is quite expensive. I've had it for several years now, and honestly I'm very happy with it. I find that the specific color of the titanium case harmonizes very, very well with the white dial that becomes pearly over the years. I think the whole ensemble is very beautiful. The dark brown strap also complements the whole ensemble, and I find that it harmonizes very, very well. The uniformity of the dial and subdials is also perfect. It's not a watch that is overly busy. It is very readable, and despite the presence of the chronograph, you don't get the impression of having an overloaded dial with hundreds of pieces of information making it readable. Here, far from it, the dial is really very, very readable. There are little details that I really like as well. The tip of the red chronograph second hand gives the watch a little racing touch. It adds a bit of life to it, and I find that very nice as well. Because the dial is all white, so the red brings a bit of life to it, and I don't mind that at all. I have never dived with this watch, as I prefer to dive with other models. So I won't comment on its use in aquatic environments, but it's important to know that it is perfectly suitable for nautical activities. The watch is waterproof, so you just need to put it on a small rubber strap or a NATO strap and you're good to go. Maybe not the NATO strap because the watch is already quite thick, but anyway, it's definitely feasible. So it's really a good tool watch. I would say it's as comfortable in the air as it is in the sea, so to conclude, what I can say is that this Breitling Chrono Avenger, it might become a highly sought after vintage piece in the coming years. Because it is beautiful, legible, sturdy, reliable, and quite masculine. And especially because there is no equivalent today. I find the new ones less successful. The new ones, Avenger Chrono, something missing. These ones I find really very, very nice. So that's it for this review on the Chrono Avenger. Feel free to leave a comment. What you think about it. If you own this model or another reference, don't hesitate. It will be an opportunity to exchange. I also invite you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet, and click on the little bell to get notifications of our future videos. For us, it also helps us to be better referenced on YouTube, so don't hesitate. It will make us happy. I also invite you to visit our website, www.moonwatch.fr, where you will find reviews on several watches, of course. I also invite you to join us on social media, namely Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Search for moonwatch.fr altogether and you will find us. With that, I wish you a good end of the day and I'll see you soon in a future video. Bye.